blessed to have you here. I did a live stream earlier, but the connection was in and out. And plus, I had other things I needed to do. So I said, all right, we're going to come back on here later on this evening. It is 11 o'clock p.m. in Nigerian time for me, but I'm still dedicating to our Sunday live streams. And I decided to make this one public. So I hope you guys are, doing great on this blessed Sunday. And I'm going to give you guys just a few minutes to come in. Today, we're going to talk about a $150,000 grant opportunity. And this is for all startups, especially for Black-owned businesses. I've talked about this particular grant multiple times on my live streams and on my YouTube. You guys know I've been talking about different grants that you can apply to and how to search and apply to grants on my YouTube. I've been doing this for years. So this grant should not be new to you at all. Towards the end of this live stream, I want to do a quick grant Q&A. I want to know what grants that have you been applying to yourself. And I also want to know, how I can help you out on your grant writing journey. All right, so come on in. Don't be scared. Good evening for you. Good night for me. And don't be a stranger. Say good afternoon. I'm drinking some tea. Got me some good old peppermint tea so we can move forward. All right, so I've been applying to lots of grants myself. As you guys know, I'm a co-founder to 2 different tech companies and ideas, apps and websites and softwares, and also to my current consulting firm, which is me writing grants for you, writing business plans and pitch decks, and also consulting with you to give you execution strategies on how to make money now. Last week, we had some really good live streams. We went over like the importance of the 5 reasons why most startups stay in what's called the startup cycle. And I gave you guys 5 counterparts, right? The way that you can combat that and how you should definitely focus up. So I hope that you guys have been, focused on how you can pretty much, get yourself really started. A lot of us are in the mindset of, oh, I need capital in order to get started. But really, I said this last week, but really it's more so focusing on, creating a business that you can start generating income now, right? And so we do have businesses that you can get into that don't require you to have a certifications, a license, or whatever have you to be able to operate. Now, if you're in like the trucking industry, if you are in the real estate industry, you might need certain certifications to be able to like do things that you want to do, especially when we're talking about driving trucks. But then again, you don't really need to have like a CDL license to, let's say, operate a box truck. You don't need a CDL license or anything like that to operate or start in like doing low boarding, right, for others. So what I want you guys to start focusing on is how can you generate income from the smallest part of your business idea. If you have a product, can you just start creating awareness around your product, especially if you're doing body essential oils or if you are doing like candles, or you might be a florist. How can you create awareness around your service or product and focus on getting the clients? When you make your first $1,000, then that is proof to you that what you have is marketable, is scalable, and it's needed in your community. All right, so I want to get into what a grant is, go through that whole spiel, and then how to search and apply to grants. I'll tell you guys about this $150,000 grant and where you can apply to it and who it's for. And then I'll go to answer your questions, okay? Because it is 11 p.m. my time in Nigeria, then we're not going to be too long on here. So whatever questions you have, you can definitely drop them as we're going. All right, so grant is debt-free money that you don't have to pay back. No credit checks, no personal information needed, like your date of birth or social. What I love the most about grants is that you don't have to pay them back. Now, you can get these grants, grants, rewards from like business entities like Amazon, Uber, DoorDash, Walmart, Macy's, Sephora, all of these big companies. They give out charitable gifts and rewards called grants. And they do this to support their community and their customers that are shopping with them, who may want to start in that same industry, especially like Sephora. If you are a makeup artist, they have a lot of makeup artist grants. If you are into fashion, well, Macy's actually gives out grants for people who want to start a fashion line or a clothing boutique. So you can get a grant from a business entity. You can also get a grant from any type of private sector. So a private sector would be like a private investor, another nonprofit that supports small businesses, and other small business owners that simply want to support their community. So you guys might have seen some of the other grant writers and business funders like Stormy Banks, and I forgot her other name. I'm so sorry. So amazing women who are in my sector, right? But they're giving out a $5,000 grant. Coach K is giving out like a $2,000 grant. Then you have some other private investors that give out money. And so this is coming directly from their income, and they're doing it to support their community, right? And they're doing it to support other small businesses. Hello Skip, right? Hello Skip and Hello Alice. Those are two nonprofit organizations that actually give out lots of funding opportunities, put us in position to be able to get not just traditional lending like loans, lines of credit, and credit cards, but also grants, incubators, and accelerators. So they are nonprofit organizations, and they use like their streaming income, donations and sponsors to be able to give us these grants. And then you can also get a grant from your state and local government. So, for example, they might be giving out $10,000 to anybody who's starting a business in El Paso, Texas, right? They might be giving $50,000 to any Black-owned business company in Fulton County, Georgia, which is Atlanta, right? So you have to look in your area, and I talk a little bit more about where you can find those grants and what you need to have, excuse me, to be properly prepared for these type of grant opportunities. Okay, so you guys know I went to church. This is what I went to church in. Okay, I love the Lord. Okay, and so with these grant opportunities, there's no paybacks, but they want to fund businesses that are properly prepared. Most businesses in my 10 years of doing this, with me having a 71% successful grant writing rate, I can say that the majority of my clients that win these grants, right, they are generating income. Their business foundations are set up properly, right? So which means they have their LLC or their INC, their EIN, they have their business bank account, they have a business plan, they have a business pitch deck, they have a pitch video, which is like a small little commercial about what they do. They have a website. So businesses who are properly put together and prepared that can show commitment to the development process are the ones that most likely get approved to these grants. Reason being, this is debt-free money that you don't have to pay back. So they want to be very specific on who they are giving this money to. They only want to reward like startups and small business owners who are serious, right? Who are serious about putting this money into their business and solving a problem. You must have compassion in solving a problem. So when you are answering some of these grant questions, you might come across a question like, why should we give you the $150,000? What makes you innovative in your market? What is your customer retention strategy? How do you plan to use this money? Step by step, give it to us in phases. So with you having having your business foundations in place, especially having things like a business plan and a pitch deck, that will really help you out with answering these questions. So you won't be too confused, right? They want to only fund business owners who are ready, entrepreneurs who are ready for success. Okay. How you show that you are ready for success? Literally investing your income, sacrificing right up front your income into investing in yourself. If you already come to the table with your hand out or looking for a savior, then you're already like going in the wrong direction. You understand? All right, so let's move forward. So now you know what a grant is. It's a debt-free reward that you don't have to pay back. There's no credit checks. There's no IDs and social security numbers needed, right? You know that these grants come from business entities like Macy's and Sephora, comes from your state and local governments, and also comes from other small business owners who want or private sectors and investors. Now, let's talk about where I find these grants. So I use what's called grantwatch.com. Grantwatch.com, it is a $45 a month subscription, or you can pay $18 a week, but it's super worth it. All right. And it's simply because Grant Watch is a grant search engine. All right. So think of it like the Google for grants. You would go to grantwatch.com, and I have so many, like tons of videos of me showing you, walking you through how to use grantwatch.com. But everything comes with a price in this business world. So welcome to being an entrepreneur. You have to pay for literally every little thing. Okay. So I'm preparing your mindset for it. You have to pay for every little thing. Just like how you got to pay for toilet tissue to wipe your butt and water to hydrate yourself, you also got to pay for every little thing in your business development journey. So go ahead and buckle up for this. Okay. Now, the $45 a month, it's super worth it. Hey, what's up, 88? And it allows you to go inside of grantwatch.com, and you can go ahead and put in the filters that are in place so you can find the grants, narrow down to the ones that serve in your favor. So you can put in your state. You can put in if you are a Black-owned company, if you are a woman-owned entrepreneur, if you are a veteran entrepreneur, and then the different types of business industries you might be into: transportation, health and health development, youth development programs. You might be into real estate. You might be into helping the homeless. Like, there's so many different, let's say, factors you can choose from. Filters, sorry. All right, so I use grantwatch.com. Grants are rewards that you don't have to pay back. Usually comes in the form of money, right? And you can get these grants from a business entity like Macy's, Sephora, Uber. You can also get these grants from like private sectors or investors. And then you can also get these grants from your state and local governments. Grantwatch.com is going to help you find grants in all three of those different sectors that I just talked about, okay? Cool. I'm giving you some good gems. Now, I want to move forward to the $150,000 grant that you guys, may or may not qualify for. So let's talk about it. I'm going to show it to you right here. Okay. All right. So this is the Famous Amos grant. You can visit Famous Amos Ingredients for Success.com. Famous Amos annually gives out a grant, and they usually do this every quarter one of the year. So the application closes on April 23rd. So, and they have a full countdown for you, which is really cool. It's right there for you. Now, here's the information. It's important for us to read because I said this before. The number one reason why most small business owners don't win any of these grants or even apply to them is simply because they do not read. All right, so let's read through it. Famous Amos Ingredients for Success Entrepreneurs Initiative. You get 3 winners, and it's $150,000 in awards. So that means everybody splits the $150K, and that means it's $50,000 each. The Famous Amos Ingredients for Success IFS Entrepreneurs Initiative is an annual national award program launched by Ferrero North America in 2020. IFS creates pathways for early-stage Black business owners to thrive by providing $150,000 in capital awards, mentorship, networking, and educational resources. Honoring Wally Amos' legacy and the famously you ethos, this initiative celebrates the qualities that make each business owner unique and fosters long-term success for their businesses. Apply now. So this is for Black-owned companies. All right, for all my sisters and brothers out there. And they actually have a YouTube video you can watch to learn more. It says applications and ingredients. Let's learn more. Let's learn more about this application and how this works, okay? Because you have submission requirements. All right, you have eligibility requirements, official contest rules and eligibility. This is important to read this because this tells you how they judge you, how they grade you, how are they choosing the winners, right? So I told you it's important to read, right? So let's move forward. 150K on the line. All right, so Black small business owners are invited to apply by submitting a short video pitch. Entries are judged by a panel of renowned Black entrepreneurs, and 10 finalists are selected to compete in the next round. Ultimately, 3 winners will each be awarded $50,000 and access to mentorship, educational resources, and networking opportunities. We invite all eligible candidates to apply by completing the form below. All right, so Submission requirements, we can click that and see. Well, hold on. Sorry, you guys. I'm on like a VPN, so it might be slow. You can click on, for you, it might actually come up, but because I'm out here in Africa, it might not come up for me. But you can usually click on submission requirements, eligibility requirements, official contest rules and eligibility, additional application components. Oh, this is really good. And additional pricing. Additional pricing means how can you get more points? Now, there's so many different ways that you can actually win a grant. All right. There's different ways that you can win a grant. You can win a grant by a simple raffle, right? So you like the Honeycomb Credit $10,000 grant that I've been talking about for the since it came out in the beginning of February, right? The deadline date for that one is April 2nd. And I'm still applying to it for you if you purchase my $37 course. Now, that one is more like a random raffle. Once you submit the application, they will randomly choose out of all of the applicants. This grant is more what you call like a judgment grant. A judgment grant is when it's point based. Think of it like grades in school, right? So A, B, C, D, right? So, okay. And so it will be like a point system. So let's say 30% will go towards the completion of the application, right? Did you complete the application in its entirety? Another 30% might go into were you clear, concise, and compassionate? And then another 30% might go into are you, can you show a need for the grant? And then 10% might go, it might be like an extra 10% just for you doing the pitch video, right? So there's so many different ways that you can actually get approved for a grant. So that's a judgment, right? That's what we call a judgment. The third way that you can win a grant is through like an actual pitch competition. So you guys know Shark Tank with Damon John and Mark Cuban, all those amazing people. Okay, so Shark Tank is the best example. That is an actual pitch competition. That's when you are putting your product and service out there and you're pitching amongst a panel of judges, and then they determine on whether or not they want to move forward with giving you the reward or the investment opportunity. So you have pitch competitions. That's one way. Another way that you can win a grant. And then last but not least, you can get a grant simply by a first come, first serve opportunity. Now, we saw this with COVID relief funds for all small business owners in America. The SBA gave out the $10,000 targeted advance. And so that was pretty much a first come, first serve opportunity. There was hundreds of million in a pot, and whoever was able to apply at a certain time or before the money ran out, you were pretty much able to get the $10,000. That's why you had a lot of people just purchasing LLCs just so they can get the $10,000. It was wild. Okay. But then in most cases in your state and local governments, they usually have that like first come, first serve type of opportunity. It's not really so much a competition. But I've also noticed, especially in for my city in Miami, they're doing a lot more pitch competitions. So Famous Amos is giving out $50,000 to 3 amazing Black owned companies, even if you are a startup. Now, how to increase your chances of approvals? You go through and you read through the eligibility requirements. You read through all of the small steps that I just showed you, the official rules of the contest, things like that. The number one reason why most small business owners and startups that do not win these grants and they don't apply is simply because they don't read. And you must read to comprehend. So take your time, okay? If you don't understand it, then that is the purpose of me getting on live and dedicating my time every day, 9 a.m. Eastern time, so that way you can come on and ask me questions, right? Don't be scared, because maybe the same question you have, somebody else has, and it's just like, you just asked it and now everybody has clarity, right? So $150,000, 3 amazing Black owned companies, winners. Definitely got to stick together with this one. And I'm hoping that you guys apply to it. I myself have already applied to it, right? I chose one of my tech companies, and I actually have pitch videos for everything that I do. So you do have to submit a pitch video. I have a separate video on how to do a pitch video. But essentially, a pitch video is when you are showcasing your product or service. You are explaining what your product or service is. You're explaining, what is the problem in your industry and how are you solving it with your service or product, right? And then you're also moving forward with explaining your compassion behind it. So what makes you so into this product or service, right? What makes you qualified to really sell this product or service? So showing some meritness too, right? Have you done any skill development? In other words, do you have like a certification that you can show that you've actually did some schooling, for you to be able to get into doing, like, let's say, selling body essential oils, right? um did you take a pottery class for you to be able to sell your cups and mugs and stuff, right? And even if you didn't, right, you can always show some sort of meritness by like achievements, right? So how many people actually gave you good reviews on your service or product, right? So you want to explain that. Having a website for these type of things will really increase your chances of approvals too. Mhm. In the funding world, when everything corresponds, when everything corresponds, hey Rio, how's it going? When everything corresponds, it looks so much better. Imagine having your pitch video on your actual website. Oh, well, it looks like these people, they're quite professional. They are dedicated to their brand awareness. You see what I mean? So it's very important for us to be serious business owners and not just go for it simply because it's money. Trust and believe they know the difference between the people who are just applying for money and the people who are applying because they have a compassion of solving a problem. And how they know this is through the answers, right? If your answers are just like very vague, very not detailed and just like simple, and they don't have like, good grammar, high key vocabulary words. And I want to reassure you, do not use ChatGPT. I've said this once before, but they do have a GPT tool out here called Zero GPT that is the world's number one AI detector. So if you use ChatGPT on your grant, well, guess what? They're going to download your application, upload it to Zero GPT, and Zero GPT is going to show them that even if you use the smallest punctuation in your answer, and once they find that out, they're going to throw your application away because they don't want you guys using ChatGPT at all. So if this is not your lane, if you want the easy way out, I'm here to tell you, 2025, there's no easy way of doing anything in life, okay? At all. Cool. All right. So, any questions, you guys? I want to know if you guys have any questions. I told you we're not going to be on live for too long today. But yeah, what questions do you guys have? Let's see. Yeah, let me see. Why does that have to be just black on? Oh, because it is Famous Amos. They do this every year. But there's grantwatch.com. They have so many others. Hey, thank you for the information. What's the name of the website? The website is Famous Amos, ingredients for success.com. Yes, call the live. Yes, Rio. I'm working on one for a. Oh wait, I'm working on one for a big one. I need to. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for referring 500 Global Grant. Fingers crossed someone in this group will win. Absolutely. And thank you for paying your membership, Rio. Okay, Ryan says, I need that DC in our programs don't usually give grants, funds to individuals, but more so to nonprofits. Understood. Each state is different, right? Because I know like the state of New York is different. Each state is different. You know what I mean? Like each state has their own thing going on. Like Atlanta is like the black mecca for all black businesses. So you're gonna find way more black owned business grants from other black owned business owners, right? You're gonna see way more grants in that particular industry. When we're talking about like the more conservative states like the DMV area, those grants you really do have to go through the government. And so because the majority of them are government federally funded, so it's not an easy like 1-2 like some of these grants that I'm talking about here. So in the more conservative states, you do have to be properly prepared, and you do have to submit a lot of documents, and it does take most cases more than 30 days to get a response. In New York gives out more grants to the youth in youth development areas. I noticed that, right? So they will give out grants for if you have a youth development project A lot more fashion grants come from out of there. And grants for like revitalizing like certain areas, under urban areas, underserved areas, right? When we're talking about the Midwest, right? Like, Midwest, it's not really a lot that they offer. So you would go for more of the nationwide grants, like the one I just talked about. You like, especially if we're going all the way as far as into the West, like Las Vegas. Las Vegas doesn't have really any grants at all, simply because it's, what I mean? It's Las Vegas. Everybody has money in Las Vegas, allegedly, right? So it's not like a state where most people are looking for a grant, because in most cases people are like, into casinos and stores and stuff. They don't really have grants out there in Nevada. Um, and then Texas is broken up into different things. You have a lot of Latino owned business, Latino entrepreneur grants. You have a lot of black owned company grants, a lot of tech grants that will come out of there, especially in the cybersecurity area. And then when you come down to the South, right, with especially in Miami, you got grants for black owned companies. So that can be for Haiti businesses, any businesses that is based like that is Caribbean, right? Um, then you have grants for Latino owned businesses. You have grants for, redoing areas. You have grants for helping out seniors, because we all know like a lot of seniors retire and they move to Florida, right? So if you decide you want to start your own like home health aid, things like that, or your own assisted living facility, you'll see more grants towards that. Health development, youth development, stuff like that, right? So each state has their own targets for how they do grants. But that's why it's important for you to use these tools like grantwatch.com, so that way you can find nationwide grants and worldwide grants and accelerator programs that will still fund you. Just because you might be in a state, or a state that's more conservative, or that does not offer a lot of opportunities specifically for small business owners, that does not mean that there is no grants out here for you. Like I stated before, there are private entities and private investors that want to give out grant money. So you have these multi-millionaires and billionaires, especially like Jeff Bezos' ex-wife. She gives out billions of dollars, and especially to HBCUs, and then also millions of dollars back to, small business owners, right? And so you would find these grants using grantwatch.com. Yes, it is a $45 a month subscription, or it's $18 a week. The way that I would say for you is you can pay the $18 for a week. You can search for grants using grantwatch.com and create your own spreadsheet, right? I have a spreadsheet here that I've created. You can create your own spreadsheet, kind of sort of like this. And then once you create your own spreadsheet for the week, you just come in here and you just click on the link and you just apply to one grant a day. Okay. One grant a day will help you out with increasing your chances of possibly winning. With winning these grants, is it's not always about like the answer and stuff, because you are competing with other business owners who aggressively need debt-free money just like you. But sometimes it's a thing of consistently applying. In most cases, you must consistently apply. Okay. So let me see. What else are you guys saying? Uh, SW, wait, stop what you're doing. She's too professional and blessed to be of this world. God bless. Thank you. Putting in that work. That's a long loss. Oh, that's a long list. Yeah, I mean, but I'm always, you know, always. I do this for a living, so it's different. It's different for me versus you guys. You guys can create your own list. Do you have like any last minute questions for me? I'm so blessed to have you guys here. It's such a beautiful. Don't forget, if you purchase my $37 course, I will apply to the $10,000 Honeycomb Credit Grant for you. I'm still running my 50% off sale for when I am applying to business plans and not applying to, but I am completing business plans and business pitch decks for you. You need a business plan and a business pitch deck. A business plan shows the outline of how you're going to reach your goals. The pitch deck is the PowerPoint version of that. You need that It's 50% off, which means it's $150 for me to do it for you. I'm ending that sale come March 31st. Everything will go right back to the same price. Q1 is over. Start April 1st. So that's that. Okay. What's the best way to write a grant? Any sources? So the best way to write a grant is to be properly prepared, right? Find grants using grantwatch.com. And then once you find a grant, then it's important for you to read. The number one reason why most people don't win grants is because they simply don't read what are the eligibility requirements. So dive deep into the grant. Once you have figured out what that grant is requiring, then if it requires a grant proposal, then go ahead and complete your grant proposal. Definitely don't use ChatGPT. Use your own words. And then if it doesn't require a grant proposal and you simply just have to apply, well, how would you know that? Well, the best ways for you to get through it is to go through it, right? Go through the actual application before you submit it. So that means click on apply, go through the application, scroll through it so you can give yourself reassurance and clarity on what is needed. Do you actually need to have a website? Do you need to make sure you upload an LLC and EIN? Do you have to have a business bank account in order for you to submit this application? So reassure yourself by going through the application first. Experience is the best teacher. Now, if they require, like I said, a grant proposal, then you need to dive deeper into the grant and see how they are going to judge you. So I talk a little bit about this on usually on my Sunday grant class, and I also talked about it on March 2nd. I definitely advise that you watch that video. It's like almost a 2-hour video, and I dive deep into how to search and apply to the grants. But yeah, that's the best way for you to write it. There's no like, oh, do you have to write an essay and submit the essay to the grant? No, that's not how it works. All of these grants are simple applications. They either use like Google Forms, Jot Form, or some sort of like their own system. And you would just simply put in your information, just like doing like a credit card application. And then, but instead there's going to be questions like, about your business and what would you use the money for, things like that. Having a business plan will definitely serve as an answer key with answering these questions as well. It will really help you out with moving through the application process much more effectively and efficiently. Is there a busy season when it comes to a grant? Yeah, I guess you can say Q1 and Q2 is usually the business season. When we get to Q4, that's when things start to slow down. Do they give them out more or less at different times? Yeah, around this time is usually when you see a lot more. You're very welcome. Thanks for all the helpful information. Still in the early steps of learning the steps it takes to put it all together. Not very business savvy, so this will all be new to me. Take your time. Take your time. I'm a 10-year entrepreneur and I'm a 71% successful grant writer. So I'm not new to this. I'm definitely true to this and dedicated. And I'm a global grant writer too. So I don't just write grants only for the US, but also for UK clients. And I'm out here in Africa. So that's why you see it so dark here for me. And so I do this all the time. So it's not new to me at all. Mm-hmm. So yes, it does take experience is the best teacher for sure. Any last minute questions before I, let you guys go on about your lovely, blessed Sunday? This has been fun. I teach you more about these debt-free opportunities in my $37 course through Etsy. It's so worth it. It's a 45-minute video, but it teaches you all about like not just grants, but accelerator programs and incubators. Rio, he's a part of our membership. He's in here in the chat. He actually won an accelerator program based off of like the tips that I'm giving you guys, right? So I definitely want you all to check out that course. And once you purchase the course, then I will go ahead and apply to the Honeycomb $10,000 grant for you. Okay, so that comes alongside with it. I send you an email requesting some general business information. The email that is tied to your $37 purchase, and then I'll go ahead and apply to it for you. I've already applied to this grant for over 100 businesses, and I'm so blessed to say that. So yeah, you can, allow me, a 71% successful grant writer, to apply to a $10,000 grant for you, and fingers crossed you might potentially get it. All right. Oh, a really good question. How long does it take to win a grant? Each grant has their own grant timeline, right? So, for example, the Honeycomb Credit Grant, I just talked about the $10,000 one. Well, that started in February, and the deadline date for that grant is April 2nd. They won't choose a winner until April 11th. Each grant has their own timeline. You have some, like the $2 million grant that I went over like last week. That is a 7-month process. So once you submit the grant, you have to give them 30 days to review your application and review your proposal, your pitch, sorry. And then after 30 days, if they like your idea, then they want you to do a full proposal. And then it takes them like 6 months to review that and move forward. So it's levels to this. Each grant has their own, grant timeline. So it's very important for you to read what's on the actual grant application first or on the grant website first before you move forward. You don't want to wait until it gets closer to the deadline date. The reason why is because you do have some grants where it is like a first come, first serve opportunity, and they might only choose or select the first 100 or the first 500 grants to go through. Keep in mind that they don't use AI to go through your grant applications. They actually hire volunteers or hire personnel to sit down and to go through each application to make sure they're choosing the best candidates. So sometimes it's a thing where it's like, you better hurry up and apply now because we're only like going through the first 300 applications. After that, we're not going through anymore. Okay, so don't procrastinate on these opportunities. Give yourself the actual chance at potentially winning debt-free opportunities or debt-free money that you don't have to pay back. Okay, thank you so much. I still have to buy some of your soap. Is it available? Yes, and I'll be in the U.S. Visiting in the U.S. on what is it? On April, I'll be there April 18th for the entire month. I mean, yeah, for an entire month. So I'm really excited. As soon as I land, that's when I'm actually going to next day ship all of the soaps, especially to the people who already ordered. The tariff situation has really made it extremely expensive to send it directly from Africa. So I'm just going to bring a bulk of it and, do it like that. Any other questions, you guys? Okay. Okay, I'll be there to buy. Thank you. Peace and blessings to everyone. Absolutely. Peace and blessings to you as well. All right, so the Famous Amos grant for Black owned companies, 3 winners, $50,000 each. You want to be properly prepared, all right? Because the ones that win are the ones that are serious about their business. How can you show that you're serious about your business? Well, investing. Okay, investing in your business. I talked about this last week, but hey, you got to sacrifice something. If you are ready you want to go into another realm, you want to go into another life, you want to go into a higher financial life, it takes sacrifice. It takes sacrifice. It's more than just saying, oh, I want to do this, oh, I want to do this, oh, I want to. No. You can say you want to, that means you're going to be a wantrepreneur. All right. Actual entrepreneur. The E stands for execution. When you win a grant, how quickly do you need to use the money? I would guess it would be as soon as possible. Like usually, people who apply to grants, they have like a need for it. So in most cases, I mean, there's no timeline on when you should use the grant, right? Because you can win like $1 million and then just hold on to like the whole $1 million. It can be like your safety net for the next like year in your business, right? So there's no timeline on when you need to pay, like use the money at all. There's no timeline. But in my mind, it's like, well, if I got this debt free money and I applied to it and I said that I'm going to use it for my phase one of development, all this money is going towards phase one. And I'm not wasting any time because I want to reach my income goals as soon as possible. Yes. My heart skipped a beat when I see a grantor email response in my inbox. 500 global responded back. It was automated, but I was super excited. Awesome. Got it. Thanks. Okay, good. All right. Any other questions you guys might have? This has been fun. It's 11:45 here for me, Nigeria time. Oh, yep. And shout out to you guys who have been purchasing the course. Also, remember when you purchase a $37 course that allows me to apply to the grant for you. Shout out to Rosalind because she bought 2 of my courses this morning. So shout out to her. Going to apply for something this week. Okay, absolutely. May God be with you. Shout out to Elizabeth, Trelicia, Antoine, Elizabeth, I think I said, and Tamika. Shout out to Candy, Ken, Asia, and Shanae. Shout out to you guys. Gotta show initiative, put the work in, and follow through. Absolutely. Determination, perseverance. Any tax break advice? No, I'm not a CPA. Hey, 7 Star, how are you? Yeah, I don't know about none of that stuff. That's not even. That's a different YouTube channel. Yep, I don't know about the tax stuff. Okay. I want to know your pricing for the business proposal and pitch. I will give you what I have and this week tomorrow. Applying for grants or business proposal pitch. Let me know your thoughts. Thank you. Love what you're doing. To book a consultation, it's $90 and I am having a 50% off. All right, what other would you hold on, I'm texting somebody, guys. Right to there we go. Miami. All right. So, what other questions do you guys have about grants, all that good stuff? I'm updating my website. If you guys didn't notice, I'm upgrading my website. Here is the link to book a consultation. Um, yeah, I'm upgrading my website because I need to put the tier stuff. Tier 1, tier 2 to 3, all that good stuff, and then also update it for the business plan service. So yeah, I'm sending. That's why I say you guys can just text me directly because I'm sending you the direct links that work for now until my website's updated. Superchargemybusiness.com, but I'm updating it. So I mean you can visit, but it's superchargemybusiness.com. But I just made it very clear. I'm updating my website. It's what it looks like, so you know you're in the right place. Here's my website. It has my phone number, my email, that good stuff. Hiring business journey. Beautiful people there. Everything you need to know about what I do, what I offer. Got great eligibility calls, business plan development. So this is when I write your business plan for you, grant writing services. But remember, these two I'm updating. But you can still book a one-on-one by clicking on book a call. And yeah, our policy gives you more information. Instagram, my YouTube, yeah, certifications, and here's my gallery for YouTube, all that good stuff. All right, so this is my website, superchargemybusiness.com, but I'm updating it, so don't be too hasty, I guess. All right, you guys. So if there's no other further questions, I want to thank you so much for joining me this evening in this live stream. We went over $150,000 grant, and also I told you all about what you need about grants and stuff. I pray that you guys actually apply to it if you are eligible, or just visit grantwatch.com and search and apply to grants yourself. So you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys on here tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern time. Okay? Bye.